Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. PlayStation now wants $700. Where the heck are the games? Show me the games. What is this that you're trying to sell us? PlayStation really has lost its way. What do you have here? A console that makes things crisper? That was annoying. Every time the guy was saying crisper, more clear. You know what? You're not competing with PCs because you will never compete with PCs. Get that through your head. If people wanted that type of fidelity, they would just buy a PC, right? That's what they would do. Consoles were an easier way to enjoy games when games were ready. Remember when games weren't broken? You just bought a game console. You didn't have to worry about all the setups in the PC. But now you have a situation where a company, again, and this is a just epidemic that's going on in the industry, where people in the game industry are not listening to their customers, right? They're not. Imagine having a restaurant where people are asking you for hamburgers all the time and you don't make them. You don't make them. You're a hamburger joint and you don't make hamburgers because you just don't want to. You're going to sell them hot dogs. This is what we have here, right? We have people deliberately not listening to their customers. What do people want? They want games. Where are the games for these things? They're not anywhere to be seen. Why? Because they're focused just on things that players do not care about. This is why this company isn't profitable. Sony is number one. Sony is number one right now. PlayStation is number one, and they make very little money. They sell billions. It's great to say that you're number one, but if you're not keeping any money out of all those sales, it doesn't matter, right? You have your costs, you have operational capital that you make from what you sell, right? But if you're not keeping any of it to reinvest in things that people really want so they can keep on buying, it doesn't matter. You're not getting the money from Concord back. Why? Because you didn't listen to the customer, right? You're not having the people within your organization make that a priority. And that's industry-wide, guys. Industry-wide, people are losing billions of dollars because they're not giving gamers what they want. In the meantime, other countries are making games that people want, and they're making the money. But I'm worried because, not only because, full disclosure, I'm here a owner of Sony stock, right? I own this stock. I own this stock in all the companies that I talk about, pretty much. But I'm a fan of video games. I want video games to do well, but this is not the direction to go. Absolutely not. You have a new console here, and you didn't announce any single games. All you're showing people is old-ass games that might look better. Well, they could just play them on their PC. Everybody has a PC. Pretty much anybody who has a PlayStation has a PC of one form or another, right? They can all go on Steam. They can all buy your game and make it look better there. This is where they've lost the script. This is why, profit-wise, Nintendo is killing everybody. Because Nintendo is focused on gameplay. Nintendo is focused on giving you the most variety of games out there, giving everybody a shot to put out their games. And they're getting top dollar for their games, their own IPs. Try to get a game from Nintendo at a cheaper price. They'll even used, they're like $5 off, right? Not, the terrible ones. But good games from Nintendo, if it's a decent game, at most you'll get $5 off because people still want to play them because there is demand. If nobody wanted these games, nobody would do them. And Sony has the capacity to do it. Look at Helldivers, sold for $40 and you still got the money. That's a blueprint right there. Not everybody can be Fortnite. The obsession with these companies to have a service-based game so they can compete with the Fortnites out there and what have you. Look, you're not going to do it. It already exists. You can make other things, but you have to be innovative. You can't copy people and think that you're going to sell them the same thing and try to just get a little bit of their market. Why don't you make something new? Why don't you listen to the customers? All right? That's what a company's supposed to do. The number one function of a company is to make money. And the way you make money is you give people what they want, what they will pay you for. And what people want is games, where gameplay is the number one priority. Not every blade of grass, not every reflection. I don't care if I see my reflections in a car as I'm driving by. What I care about is the game good. That's what people care about in general. Again, Nintendo has showed you that. But Sony right now is really losing the mark. It's like they want to compete with PCs out there. You're not going to be able to. You're just not going to be able to. PCs will always be more advanced. That's a fact of life. So why not focus on what made you great? What made Sony great right off the get-go? I put this old controller out there that looks like the PS1 controller because that's what made the PS1 such a great machine. People wanted to make and develop for it. Why? Because you had all your RPGs out there. You had new concept. People were making games for it because it didn't take 200, 300, 400 million dollars to make a game. And then customers didn't have to wait 4, 5, 10 years. Do you realize now the reason the market is so crappy is that you may enjoy a game today, right? Let's say you're a new college student and you started playing a game today. By the time you graduate college, the sequel to that game still hasn't come out, and you're not going to see it. Now you're married, right? And you have other responsibilities, and you still don't have a sequel. Elder Scrolls, hello. Skyrim, hello. Right? That's what's wrong with the video game industry. You don't have to make these complicated games that you have to sell for $100, $200 in order to get your money back. Why don't you make the first part of the game, see if people likes it? Right? Sell it for $50, sell it for $40. Games can be made. There is a $40, $30 price point out there where people would buy, excuse me, you can see what's happening with my voice, guys, and I apologize, but this is the reason I don't make constant videos anymore. This is what happens to the industry when you don't follow what people want. People love the price point. They already told you $50 is comfortable for them. Not 70, not 80, not $150. So what can you sell them in that price point? Again, go back to Helldivers. You got the money and you got the microtransactions. You got the type of game that you wanted, but then you didn't realize, right, what the customer meant, and you went against the customer's choices, and now your game tanked. This is industry-wide, guys. This is an epidemic. Do you realize that we were better off when the people running these companies didn't like games? Think about that. When the people running the companies didn't know anything about games, we were better off because those people, since they didn't know anything, they would listen to the customer. They would try new things. They would just throw things at the wall and see what stuck. We had a variety of games. This is something we're missing now generally in game consoles. You know, not so much Nintendo, but both Xbox and PlayStation, because they want that Fortnite. They want that microtransaction generator, right? That's all they're focused on. And it's really been a curse in the industry. And now these people that know, quote unquote, know video games have completely ruined it. In the most part, you can see it in the sales, you can see it in the excitement, you can see it in the variety of games that we're getting. We're not getting what we used to get. And this is a bad sign. $700 for a new console, which is way overpriced, with no games, with no new games, just re-releases, hashed out stuff that you could already get in a PC. This is not the way to go. This is the way that you start losing market share. Sony, this is a bad sign. I hope they change directions, not only for me and the rest of the stockholders, but for everybody else. Guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. New videos every Monday and Sunday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and remember, never ever be afraid to be happy. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.